Amy Thurman back again with 100 Days, 100 Emotions. We're on day 46, and today we're talking about eagerness. Remember, the goal of this series is to help us understand that we're human, we have emotions, we feel them, and it's completely normal to feel them. But they can also teach us something. They're there to help us learn and grow. And so I love to help other people do that by listening to stories and experiences from others. So if you would like to be a guest on this series, please contact me either by a comment or send me a message, and I would love to get you plugged in. We can find an emotion that works for you. If you would like to see the rest of these, go to hashtag 100 days, 100 emotions. That's the number 100, streaming live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. All right, let's get into this today. I want you to meet my friend. Oh my goodness. This is Erin Yeaman. We have been friends for so long. I absolutely adore you, friend, and I'm so, so thankful that you're here to help us learn more about eagerness.
I adore you, and I'm very grateful to be here for sure. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be
Of,
here.
of course, of course. This is such a pleasure. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I like to pull up a piece of text as we start,
Mhm.
just to kind of use as a springboard to start our conversation. And today it says that eagerness is a state of anticipation that's characterized by a strong desire toward a particular event. Or it also includes being highly motivated and willing to put in effort to achieve or participate in something. And eagerness is interesting to me because it's kind of borderline other emotions, which that's kind of the case with all of these emotions we're talking about. They can easily feed into other emotions as well. And so being able to pinpoint exactly what it is, how it feels in the body, and our experience with that, I think is very helpful. So I would love to know your experience with eagerness, Erin, and what it has taught you.
Well, I completely agree, actually. As I've been thinking about all of these emotions, actually, that you've been discussing and diving into, I have felt myself go between the positives of eagerness and the way I have felt over my creative life. Um, Having eagerness very much on that, that sort of push behind. I've always been a very eager, curious person, but I've also felt the impatience and, eagerness slipping into a little bit of a negative, and I've had to learn how to tell those differences. But for me, eagerness, I'm a very creative person, and
You are. You
so
definitely are.
I'm always wanting to stretch and grow and sort of welcome in challenges, because I love that what's next phase. I'm like, "Ooh, I've gotten this momentum and I've been really eager and I've worked really, really hard, and now what's next?" And so eagerness, to me comes in like these different phases. And the beauty of starting something new for me has been very bright and shiny right now because I've started to go into a different career these last 4 years. And what I've noticed is that eagerness and that want and that desire to learn something new has been a very, very big push. And now I've gotten to a point where I can kind of settle in and enjoy some of my work more and find a real grounded place where eagerness has has morphed. And I actually am enjoying that a lot more than this like real big push of momentum that I've had. Um so yeah, and I think eagerness has fueled that creativity, that desire. So now I'm just learning a lot how to change eagerness and what eagerness feels like into just really being grateful for where I am right now and not looking so ahead. Um, so yeah.
It's so funny that you bring that up because that's exactly what I was thinking when you were talking. Like in my life, eagerness plays a huge role because, like you, I'm a very driven person and I
Mhm.
love to achieve goals. I love to set my goals high and achieve them. And eagerness plays a part in that. But what I have to watch is that I will achieve my goal or get so
Mhm.
close to it. And then I'm like moving to the next one instantly, like not stopping in exactly what you said, not stopping long enough to be grateful and appreciate where I am and what I have achieved. And so I do think in a sense eagerness can be, it can feed into that, where it makes us push, and instead of stopping to be grateful and to appreciate what we have and what we've achieved so far.
Mhm.
Did you find that?
Oh, absolutely. Being motivated to get someplace is a wonderful feeling. It's and you're I feel like you're vibrating really high, your vibration is really high when you're working hard and you've set goals and you're ticking those boxes off. But when you have done that, it's almost like you have to rethink what your body needs. And it is just to sort of settle, look back on what you've achieved, and just take that moment and enjoy that moment and relish that moment of "Good job, me, I did it." And sort of love and nurture yourself rather than, like you were saying, ready for the next thing. And I'm a person who has serious FOMO. I wanna know how something's working or what someone else is gaining and, like, what are they learning about? And so I have to just really temper that motivation and that desire and just come back in my body a little bit more because my brain will really spin with ideas.
Yeah, yeah, and it's what I had to end up doing, because I'll be the first to admit I'm horrible about celebrating myself. Like
Yes,
when I
me too.
achieve, like I said, when I achieve something, like I'm moving on to the next thing. I don't
Mhm,
take time to celebrate myself. Even like my birthday, it's like, okay, it's another
mhm,
day, another year. And so I've really had to stop and think about, I really need to celebrate myself more. I really need to be more appreciative and grateful for what I
mhm,
am doing, because, went so long with not being able to do anything that I think it almost makes it worse for me, because now that I can do things, I'm like, I want
mhm.
to do them all. Like, I don't want to stop. I had to stop for so long. I don't want to be there anymore. I want to keep moving and keep going. And so it's a really, really conscious thing that I have to be aware of. And I have
Mhm.
started to, when I write down my goals, write out beside it, when I achieve this goal, this is how I'm going to celebrate. Like I write it down and I make a conscious effort, like I'm going to celebrate in this way when I achieve this goal. And that has helped me.
That's
Do you,
it's really interesting. I had a conversation with someone the other day that had a very big goal, and I've watched them work toward this goal quite diligently and enthusiastically, but I really wanted to know, "What are you going to do after this big
Mm,
performance? What are you gonna do to take care of yourself? I'm so curious." And, they didn't have an answer.
yeah.
They were like, "Oh, I hadn't thought about that." Because there's such a come down and such a it's a little confusing, and so like you were saying, that's a wonderful plan to write down beside your goal how you're gonna celebrate.
Yeah, it's been really helpful for me, and you're so right, there is like this, it's almost a deflated
Mhm.
afterwards, like you have worked and worked and done so much, so hard for, so long, and then you achieve it, and then it's like you just kind of melt for a minute and then get right back into it.
Yeah, I've also been thinking about, what when something is working really well, how do I really feel inside? And sometimes when I'm overly, motivated, overly, eager about something, my authentic self doesn't really come out very well. It's like this other part of me that's like, "Raw." And so I've been really trying to pay attention to, in my line of work, when I feel really relaxed in my hips, when I feel really relaxed in my stomach and my lungs and my shoulders, when my voice is normal, when I'm not really, sometimes I have to have a super high voice for characters, but there's still a relaxed, grounded in the moment. I've really been paying attention to what that feels like, and I've been desiring that more than I think I used to love the push and the eager and the motivated, like, "Oh, let's go for this," feeling.
Yeah.
And now I think I long for the grounded, patient gratitude space more. And I don't know if that comes with age and experience in life,
Experience. Mhm.
but that's what I am definitely longing for more.
Yeah, I completely agree because I sense that as well. I feel that as well because there's something to be said about allowing. Like right now, I'm really
Yeah.
focused on allowing instead of restricting. That's not the right word. I can't think of the right word. Anyway, it's more allowing things that are going to happen, not trying to force things, which this is a great time to segue into our question of the day. But how can you tell the difference between eagerness and impatience? And
Mm,
it's so close. Like they eagerness can shift into impatience so quickly before we even realize that's what's happening. And then we get to the point where I think that's where I push, 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 push because it actually turns into
yes.
impatience because
Yes.
it's not happening the way I want it to or in the time frame I want it to. And so
Mhm.
it goes into impatience very, very easily.
Oh, I was actually just thinking about this. I had seen someone post something yesterday, and it took me until this morning to figure out what pushed me into impatience mode. And it was this post, and this is a wonderful person and a wonderful post, but what it did was is it clicked me into, "Hey, I'm not doing that. Am I supposed to be doing that?
Mm,
Should I be doing that
yeah.
now? Why haven't I done that now? How do I do that now?" And all of a sudden, it just went so fast that I was focusing so much on all the nots and all the haven'ts and or am I supposed to's. It just put me in a real negative place. Whereas kinda like what we're saying earlier, going back to that gratitude place of just being enough right now. But yeah, it put me in a big impatience mode, and then I think with impatience, it's just you focus so much on the negative. That's like a lot of what Abraham Hicks talks about, focusing on all of the nots and the haven'ts, and I had to refocus and rethink and realign and give myself some love.
Yes, absolutely, and that's
Mhm.
it. I say that like almost every one of this in this series that awareness is the first step. Becoming aware of that's what's happening because I have felt exactly what you described. Like I'm like, "Oh, wait. What? Wait." I'm
Mhm.
like that FOMO, like I'm supposed to
Yes.
be there. I'm supposed to be doing that. I'm supposed to be having that. Um, but it's not my time yet. It's not my time and the things that I'm supposed to have and do and be will come when it's time. But I
You know,
just lost
what
my train of thought.
no,
Go
one thing I
ahead.
was thinking, Amy, is that, I love this conversation because one thing I have found that has helped me with that grounding and that authenticity is actually going back to relationships and feeling that groundedness with your friends, with your family, with your really close group of people in your life. Um, I think it can help just remind you that the whole reason for us doing goal setting and is to build relationships, is to feel these feelings in these safe places. And sometimes the best way to do that is just to go have coffee with a friend or tea, like you and I have been trying to do for months now. But,
Right.
remind just I always feel so much better after talking with someone about kind of what my life is, where it's heading, and all even good and not so good. But it just kinda slows you down and goes, "Oh, okay. Things are gonna be okay." And so it
Yeah.
finds that beautiful middle ground of eagerness and impatience. And I think it sort of lives with real relationships, real communication.
Yeah. Ooh, that's so good. That's so good because it is vital. We were created to be in relationship, you know.
Yes,
We weren't
yes.
created to be do things alone.
Alone, and we
And
do a lot
so,
alone.
yes.
Mhm.
Yes, we really do. And I remembered what I was going to say earlier about being aware. The awareness is so important of when you get to the point where it turns into impatience or where you're feeling that anxious feeling where you said earlier like when your hips are relaxed and you feel relaxed,
Mhm. Mhm.
that's a completely different feeling than when you're impatient and you're all tightened up. And so I think that just our bodies react and respond to emotions in different ways depending on how we're responding to it. And so to understand that that's where my body's going into the impatience mode, I need to figure out what's happening here, and why I'm feeling that way, and go back to
Mhm.
being grateful and gratitude instead. And I think that's a huge part in all of these emotions. I have talked about that in all of these, that's a key is awareness and then figuring out
Mhm.
what it's trying to tell you, what you can learn from it. So,
Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
good. Oh my goodness. This is so good. Oh, I love chatting with you. Oh my
I
goodness.
know, I love connecting like this.
Okay. If you, excuse me, have seen any of these before, you know that I use an AI image generator to create an image that represents the emotion of the day. And I love these because you are so creative, Erin. I'm eager to see what you come up with in this picture. Um, but I learned so much just from looking at the images because
Mm,
it ends up bringing up things that we haven't talked about before that maybe we didn't see unless
yeah,
until we look at it through the lens of eagerness in this image. And so I'm excited to pull this up. Let me pull it up and then
okay.
I'll full screen it and we can take a look at it here.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I know it's
Ah,
absolutely beautiful.
it is.
And it's
Hmm.
so funny, it's so interesting to me that a computer generated image, which I know humans created the computer generate, there's a
Yeah,
cycle there.
yeah.
But, that it pulls up things like this that are just so accurate when
Hmm.
you talk about the
Mhm,
different emotions.
mhm.
And I'm curious to know what comes out, what jumps out at you first here about, eagerness in this picture,
Hmm.
right? You just have to sit with it. It's like
You
you just
do,
have
I
to
think you
sit with
do.
it and kind of just absorb what's happening here. I just To me, it's like the sun is so bright. It's the focal point of this image.
It
And
definitely.
right. And I see, it's darker at the bottom in the foreground and the tree
Mhm,
is in a shadow.
mhm,
So it's almost
mhm.
to me like that ground and that shadow is eager for the sun to come up to be able to hit it, to receive the sunlight, that it's eagerly awaiting more of that
Yeah.
that light that's so bright there. Um,
I love
I
all
do.
the colors, the warmth and the blue, and I do think the feeling of eagerness is bright, but it's also kind of warm. Um,
I
and
love that.
I love being able to jump into an image and, because you feel kind of far away from this landscape, to me, and I feel like there's a real big journey ahead. But the landscape is kinda complicated. I don't completely understand I don't understand all the shapes and the colors yet. And that's how eagerness
Yeah.
is. You don't understand. You have this feeling, but you don't understand how it's all gonna work together. And, there's also, like, that shattered, fragmented, torn part in the back,
Right.
which is a little scary. It's a little disconcerting to me to look at that. And so is goal setting, so is that desire to grow and change. There is a scariness about it, but it's also really beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. I wonder too that that fragmented section there, if that could represent like you're headed toward impatience, like you're
Yeah.
in eagerness,
Um,
but you're headed toward impatience, and so it starts to fragment itself there. Or it's what it reminds me of when you were talking.
mhm, mhm,
So, oh,
yeah.
so good.
It's a little
Oh,
it's a haunting image, really. It's bright and haunting at the same time.
yeah, yeah. See, you see what I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah,
we haven't talked about this kind of stuff in regards to
yeah.
eagerness, but this picture, like, helps it bring it forward. It blows
Mhm.
my mind. I honestly, like I said, don't understand how it works or how it does that, but I just love it so much. I have learned so much from those images. Oh my goodness.
And this is why museum narration to me is so powerful. Most stories, you can tell the story, but it's when you ask these questions that are deeper questions about a piece of art, it brings up these conversations that I think are really powerful in connecting people.
I agree. That was one of the reasons I loved humanities class at
Yeah.
university. I loved
Mhm.
humanities for that reason
Me too.
because there's
Me
no
too.
right answer. There's no right
No.
answer.
Yeah.
It's all up to your interpretation.
Yes.
So, oh, I
Yeah.
love that. Oh my goodness, this has been so, so good, Erin. I have loved this so much. Thank you so
Me
much for being
too.
here.
Thanks, Amy. I've loved being
I
here.
would I'm so glad. I would love for you to share with everyone what you do and how they can
Okay.
connect with you if they would like to work with you or hire you.
Sure, sure. So I am actually in my booth. I'm a voice actor, an audiobook narrator. I work mainly in children and family narration, e-learning, like I said, audiobooks, animation. I absolutely love it. I feel it is one of the most wonderful places in my booth, in my imagination. And I love working with people and connecting. I love connecting with children through stories, silly, fun, serious, young adults, same thing. Same thing with museum narration. I love bringing art and experiences that like that to life. So if you want to work with me, and I love to work with people and connect with people and bring their stories to life, my website is my name, Erin Yeaman, and then a VO, which is voiceover. And so it's erinyeamanvo.com. I'm also a cellist and I do film score recording, and it's just part of my real creative world and working in stories. And I love that too. You can find out more there too as well.
Yeah, I it blows my mind, Erin. Just gotta say this. Like I have listened to some of your demos
Mm,
and I was just like, how is that your voice? Like, how is that you? Like, I have known you for years with the voice that you have, and then
yeah.
listening to your demos, I'm like, that is fascinating. Like, it literally blows my mind that you can make your voice do that.
It has
So, so
just
cool.
been the most wonderful journey. Like, it is, like, just an adventure inside my soul, really. I know that sounds kinda cheesy, but it has
No,
really
it's
been uncovering this person that's been longing to express themselves, I think.
oh, I love that. And you do things with school teachers, like with schools,
I
right?
do. I'm an A+ teaching fellow, and so I work with teachers all over Oklahoma, um, on how to teach through the arts. So it's you don't change your curriculum, you teach your curriculum through art experiences, whether it's dance, drama, um, music, visual art, and it is wonderful to see schools and teachers embrace that and transform their classroom and their school environment and their culture. So the arts are a very big part of and have been a very big part of my life for, my whole career. And I love working with teachers.
Right.
Incredible.
I art has been so much, it's been missed. Like it has been taken out of so many schools. And you cut out there for a second. I hope I didn't interrupt you.
No,
But
you're good.
okay. Um, but to be able to bring this back into the schools in the way that you're doing it, I think is truly magical. Like literally, the kids need this. Like they need this in their lives. And is that something they can find out through your website? How to hire
That
you to do that?
that you can go to Oklahoma A+. Um, I believe it's oklahomaAplus.com, um, and find out more. There is an incredible I am so lucky to get the chance to work with many A+ fellows from all different parts of education, um, and schools can sign up to be and the most incredible thing is that professional development is all free. So your school gets 3 incredible years, full years of PD and training in the summer on how to do this. And it's
Wow.
all over the US, and it's in parts of Africa, and it's, of course, very well researched and, backed by best practices, and the most incredible part of it is just watching the kids create. And talking with other business owners and creatives and people at Noggin, and they want employees who are creative thinkers, creative problem solvers, and passionate about working together to build something together. And I think that's what kids love about school. When it is working that way, kids love to go to school, and
Yeah.
A plus will help that. It's a pretty
Oh,
magical thing.
that's so great. So great. I know there are a lot of educators that watch, so I would love for you to check that out if you're interested and see if you can work with Erin because she's in this
Yeah.
area. So that would be amazing. Oh my goodness.
Yes,
Okay.
I
Well,
can connect you.
yeah, absolutely. And I will tag you in the description
Okay.
so that they can get in touch with you through the social medias as well. So that may be helpful too.
Absolutely. Absolutely, would
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for being here, Erin. Oh my goodness, it's been such a pleasure. I have loved this so, so much.
Me too. Thanks,
Thank
Amy.
you all for watching. Excuse me. Thank you for watching. If you have found this helpful or think it will be helpful for others, please share it. Like I said, if you would like to be a guest, please let me know. I have a special, exciting opportunity for my guests that I have not shared yet that I will share in the future, but it will be something that you will want to be a part of. And so I would love to get you plugged in and allow you to be a part of that. So thank you all again. Until tomorrow, I'll be back with a new emotion. Bye.